Imagine waking up tomorrow, your eyes just open, and before you've even actually started your day, man, your mind already feels heavy. There's that stress, the overthinking, maybe just a low background hum of dissatisfaction. Well, most people try to fix that heavy feeling with immediate distraction, scrolling, entertainment, or they just sit around waiting for a good day to magically happen to them. But ask yourself right now, are you just waiting for happiness to strike you out of nowhere like a bolt of lightning? See, here is a really profound neuroscience-backed paradigm shift. We tend to walk around with this myth that happiness is just something that happens to you, right? Like a stroke of luck. But the science shows us something completely different. Happiness is built in. It's actually a skill you construct by literally rewiring how your brain processes things like dopamine, emotions, and stress. It's like a muscle. So happiness isn't this random destination you just hope you stumble upon. It's the direct result of how you train that muscle. So, the absolutely crucial point to grab here is this. Your brain is not broken. I promise. That heavy emotional state you might be feeling in the mornings, it is not a permanent flaw in your hardware. It's simply the result of daily habits built around modern distractions, constant comparison, inconsistency. Think of your brain like a dirt path in the woods. The more you walk that path of distraction, the deeper the rut becomes. Every time you repeat a behavior, that pattern kind of just becomes your default emotional state. But because it's simply trained in the wrong direction, we can absolutely carve a new path and retrain it. So let's look at our first habit to start that retraining, which is all about controlling your dopamine. Most people completely overload their dopamine system the literal second they wake up with social media and junk content. And honestly, flooding your brain with that stuff right away is like eating a giant bowl of sugary candy for breakfast. You get this sharp stimulation spike, and then a really harsh crash, where everything else in life just feels super boring and difficult. The fix for this? Delay that high stimulation. Replace the instant morning scroll with low stimulation activities. Have a glass of water, take a walk, or literally just sit quietly. It trains your brain to actually find satisfaction in normal, stable activities again. And to help prevent that morning crash, we use habit number 2, getting natural light early. See, your brain has this built-in clock, the circadian rhythm. When you expose your eyes to sunlight in the morning, it acts as a hard reset for this clock. It regulates your energy, your sleep quality, and your mood for the entire rest of the day. If you just stay in a dark room staring at screens, your brain stays totally confused, which, no surprise, directly leads to low energy and irritability. So you're probably wondering, how much time do we actually need to fix this? Literally just 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. Sometime within your first hour of waking up, just step outside. No phone, just pure natural light exposure. This tiny little 5 to 10 minute microaction dramatically improves your serotonin levels. It's such a ridiculously simple action, but it has a massive life-changing compound effect on your daily baseline happiness. Okay, now for habit 3, moving your body, even when you really don't feel like it. The trap we all fall into is waiting for motivation to strike before we exercise, right? But the science tells us it's the exact opposite. Motivation comes after action, not before. When you move your body, your brain releases this really nice balanced mix of endorphins and dopamine. And hey, you don't need intense, crazy workouts. You just need consistency. A daily walk or even just some basic stretching works perfectly. You just have to act first to generate the physical and emotional energy you're looking for. So phase 1 is all about building morning momentum. Delay those instant dopamine hits, get early natural light, and move your body consistently. Those are your 3 foundational, timeless steps to slay that dragon of modern distraction right when you wake up. You are setting the terms for your brain's chemistry right from the jump, rather than letting a glowing screen set them for you. Now, let's shift gears into phase 2, which is all about finding mental clarity throughout the rest of your day. This kicks off with habit 4, quieting your mind. Look, our brains are constantly processing noise and endless thoughts, which leads to some serious mental fatigue. You don't need to be some Zen master or learn crazy meditation techniques. Literally just sit quietly for a few minutes every day with zero input. No phone, no talking, just let your thoughts pass. It cures that mental fatigue and massively improves your emotional intelligence because you're learning how to observe instead of just instantly reacting. Moving on, habit 5 is actively fighting what scientists call the negativity bias. Basically, this is your brain's biological tendency to focus way more on your problems than on your progress. If you don't actively fight this bias, you're always going to feel like you're falling behind in life. So you fight it by actively training your brain to notice small wins. Acknowledging your progress releases healthy dopamine, and over time, that is exactly the secret sauce that builds unshakable confidence. So, how do we actually put that into practice? By asking yourself this one single, super powerful question at the end of every single day. What did I do right today? And look, it doesn't have to be some major life achievement. It can be simple stuff like completing a basic work task, staying consistent, or even just successfully holding back a reaction when you felt super annoyed. Taking just 1 minute to acknowledge these simple wins literally trains your brain to start looking for the positive as its brand new default setting. Next up is habit 6, which tackles a very modern, very annoying problem, decision fatigue. This is that intense mental energy drain caused by making constant, unnecessary choices all day long. What to eat, what to watch, what to do next. By the time you actually need to do something important, your brain is just totally fried. The solution here is to simplify your routine. Just put certain mundane parts of your day on autopilot so you don't even have to think about them. This is exactly why brilliant folks like Steve Jobs wore the exact same outfit every single day. By reducing that mundane mental load, you keep your brain calm, and a calm brain is for sure a happy brain. Wrapping up phase 2, we have mental clarity. And habit 7 rounds this out, intentional consumption. Your brain is constantly absorbing information, and it literally becomes what it repeatedly absorbs. So be intentional and feed your brain better inputs. When you combine that with a quiet mind, noticing your small wins, and making fewer daily decisions, you really start to unlock some profound mental clarity. So let's pull all this together into a day of brain training. Imagine how perfectly this flows. Your morning is for light and hydration instead of staring at screens. Midday is for movement and focused structure. And your evening is for a quiet mind and celebrating those small wins. You can see how seamlessly these timeless little micro habits overlay onto a super busy modern day. It doesn't feel like this giant, overwhelming chore. They're just really small, intelligent adjustments to things you're already doing anyway. All right, here is your actual game plan, the transformation loop. Step 1, pick just 2 habits to start with. Please, whatever you do, do not try to do all 7 tomorrow. That is exactly how people get completely overwhelmed and quit by Tuesday. Start small. Step 2 is to apply those 2 habits daily for consistency. And then step 3, add more habits only once those first 2 feel completely natural and automatic. This loop is so vital because slow, steady, and repeatable action is how genuine, lasting rewiring actually happens in the brain. So, if there is one absolutely crucial takeaway we've learned from the neuroscience in our sources today, it's this: action creates the feeling. Most people are just sitting around waiting to magically feel happy or motivated before they start taking action to improve their lives. But it works the exact opposite way. You actually generate the feeling of happiness and motivation through the consistency of these daily micro habits. You don't wait for it to happen, you literally build it yourself. Remember, your brain is always learning. Every single day, it is actively adapting its default state based on your routines and your inputs. So instead of just blindly chasing happiness, you now have the exact blueprint to start generating it. I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Since your brain is absorbing everything you do and adapting to every routine you set, what are you teaching your brain today?